My name is Joseph Carter, and I am the Mink Man.
When I was a senior in high school, I started learning about the American mink. I was told that mink were horrible, vicious little animals who were impossible to tame. Challenge accepted. I've been in love with mink ever since. I get mink from fur farms and give them a new life. In this new life, my mink live as naturally as possible, even hunting for their dinner the way a wild mink would.
So come join me on my adventures as we learn more about this intense little predator, the amazing American mink. Alrighty, so we've just been driving down the canal. We found a nice little hole here, and there's very obvious sign. If you look, the clouded water, you can see the trail where the muskrat's been coming in and out, and the water's clouded, which means it's currently in use. It's not was used a few days ago, a few weeks ago. This is currently in use. It's only been minutes or hours since the muskrats come in and out and clouded this water. Also, if you look really close, so you see right here, this is a plug, what I call a plug. The muskrats, if the hole is open at all, they feel vulnerable. They like the hole to be underwater, where they're coming in and out underwater and it's not exposed to the air. So when the water drops, they'll create these plugs where they take vegetation and they basically make it so the hole is solid above water and the only entrance is underwater. So that's another evidence for us that there is an active muskrat den and there is a muskrat here. So this is another great training opportunity. So rather than us just going down and sticking a mink down, we want our dogs to be able to locate muskrats for us, because it's not always going to be this obvious. Sure, there's great opportunities like this where we could just see with our own eyes and know there's a muskrat here, but I've seen many times where there was no evidence that there was a muskrat in a location, and we found it, just got lucky and found it. Either we saw it running or something, and we're like, wow, I never would have expected a muskrat to be here. And so ever since that, it's made me wonder, you know, and back when I had onça, I ran into that all the time. Oh, I never expected a muskrat to be here, but onça would find it. So we want our pups to learn to look for things that we wouldn't see. That way we can be more efficient in our hunting. And honestly, frankly, for me, even if it wasn't that efficient, it's a lot more fun for me to have the dogs searching for the muskrats and working. I mean, that's part of the joy and the excitement for me, is seeing my animals work. I don't know, that's just the fun of the hunt. So anyway, so we're gonna go back, we're gonna drive down the road a ways. We've scouted it out already. We don't visually see any signs of muskrats, so we feel like there aren't any muskrats between here and, you know, down the road. So what we'll do, we're gonna turn the dogs loose, we're gonna ask them where the muskrat is, and Sheerney and Penny are gonna trot along the bank, and eventually they'll end up here. And we're, you know, 99% sure there's a muskrat here. So if the dogs run past it, we'll know, hey, they don't get it, or they're not paying close enough attention or whatever, and we can correct them and say, hey guys, look, pay attention, look, there's a muskrat here. Oh yeah, you're right. It also teaches us how far along our dogs are in the training. If they, just like last time, when the last video where you saw Sheerney was trotting past the muskrat den acting like she wasn't paying attention, and then just stopped on a dime and turned around and hit the muskrat hole. If she does that again over and over and over again, I can start to feel confident in my dog's abilities and start to trust her more, that she will find muskrats for me on a regular basis. And that's a good thing to know. You know, how good is your dog? Because there's a lot of guys who wander around with really crappy dogs and think their dogs are great at finding stuff when they're missing stuff all day long. They just find the easy, obvious stuff. So, I mean, even a dog without a nose can wander around and eventually find something. I know, because we humans do it all the time, right? We have no sense of smell, and we'll blunder into some animal. So, it's good for me to know how far along my dog is and how consistent my dog is in locating stuff. Where's the muskie? Good girl. Where's the muskie? What'd you find? Did you find one? Did you find it? Oh, good girl. Good girl. Good dog. Oh, good girl. Oh, good girl. Good dog. Oh, that's a good dog. So we have here, these are both Brock's daughters. Their mother is Taz, their father's Brock, and they're full sisters, obviously, and from the same litter. This will be their first time ever out on muskrats. I named this one Curiosity. She's the one that has a purple buckle, and this one doesn't have a name. She's just the one with the gold buckle. I just haven't named yet. Like I said, most of them I haven't named for the pure fact of I don't know which one we're going to end up keeping long term. So let's go see how they do on their first muskrat. We'll go up. Good girl.
He's moving down.
There's another one? Yep, there's another one right here. Good job, boys and girls.
Oh, there's a third. Yeah, he's going up.
Yeah. Where did we leave that one? You remember? Somewhere here.
Keep going. Keep going a little bit. Like right there.
Woo.
Eventually.
Let's get Saber out.
After a considerable amount of time and effort, I gave up on these inexperienced female mink and got out Saber. Saber had a little bit more experience than these girls, but more importantly, he's a total natural. Either of these girls were capable of catching one of these muskrats too, they were just too inexperienced and the deeper water made it a little too complicated for their first time out.
Come on, Saber, man. Saber. Saber. Here. Saber. Here. Good job, big guy. Oh, use it. Good job. I love buck mink. Good boy. Okay, that's fine. That was kind of crazy. This was a little more difficult than we anticipated. I should have known that the water's deeper than is ideal. And these mink are as green as they come. Good old Saber, he doesn't act green. He doesn't act new. He knows what's going on. Proud of him.